Very good morning, my dear children. So now we can move on to the new chapter, that is chapter 18, the freedom struggle. So in this chapter, we are going to know about so many acts passed by the British government and so many movements launched by the Indians under the leadership of Mahatma Gandhi. And so many tragedies have also taken place during the freedom struggle from 1919 to 1947. Understand? So, in this class, we are going to know about Gandhiji, the freedom torch bearer, the Rowlatt Act, and the Jallianwala Bagh massacre. So, children, after the first war of Indian independence, that is, revolt of 1857, Indians realized that the British always keep us backward. So we should not admit that. Indians should be united and we should protest and fight against the British and get freedom to our country. This was the realization of the Indians, and in 1885 the Indian National Congress was formed. So it was a foothold for the Indians. So with the help of Indian National Congress, Indians started protesting against the British government, isn't it? Yes. And in the year 1893, Mahatma Gandhi, you all know that, is the father of our nation, is the freedom torch bearer. He was called Mahatma. So he was a lawyer. So in connection with the case, he had been to Africa. And there he saw the difficulties faced by the Indians under the British rule. So children, looking at that, he did not keep quiet. He fought against the British, against the injustice. So do you know how did he fought against the British? Not with bar or weapon. He experimented satyagraha based on truth and non-violence. And finally, he achieved success. And when he returned to India in 1915, the condition of India was same as it was in Africa. So he traveled throughout India to know about the situation of the people, Indians. He was shocked looking at the poverty and hunger of the people in India. And finally, he decided to fight against the injustice done to the farmers, Indian farmers. You know what was the injustice done to the Indian farmers by the British? Yes, they compelled the Indian farmers to grow only indigo and cotton, and they paid very less amount for that. In return, Indian farmers had to pay very high tax to the British government. So this was the injustice. So Gandhiji, he decided and launched fight against the British, against the injustice to the farmers. So when Gandhiji decided to fight against the injustice, the British, they passed an act called Rowlatt Act. So children, in India also, Gandhiji decided to fight against the British only through peace and non-violence, not war or weapons. Understand? So by the time the British launched the Rowlatt Act. So what is Rowlatt Act? Yes, this was the act passed by the British government. As per this act, they could arrest any Indian activist or leaders or revolutionaries and send him or her to jail without any trial in the court. This was Rowlatt Act. Understand? So the British government got the full power to arrest any Indian and send him or her to jail without any trial in the court. The Indians did not keep quiet. They protested against this Rowlatt Act. So children, one day in 1919, in a park called Jallianwala Bagh at Amritsar in Punjab, a peaceful meeting was going on there in relation with the Rowlatt Act. Nearly 1000 people were participating in that meeting. So that Amritsar Jallianwala Bagh, it was a park and it was surrounded by houses. The back walls of the houses were surrounded the park, and there was only one exit to the park, and General Dyer, he ordered his troop to close that exit and to fire the unarmed crowd inside the park. So the British troop, they fired continuously for 10 to 15 minutes into the unarmed crowd. As the exit was closed, they were not able to escape from that. Finally, hundreds were killed. They died. They lost their hands and legs. Most of them were wounded. So this was a tragedy in the history of India. So this incident took place in the year 1919. This was called Jallianwala Bagh Massacre. Understand? So this took place in the year 1919 at Jallianwala Bagh in Amritsar in Punjab. Did you understand, children? So this was a tragedy in which hundreds of people, they lost their life. Just imagine the situation. There were no any entrance to escape. They did not have any weapons, isn't it, to shoot in return. They were unarmed crowd, and the peaceful meeting was going on. Suddenly the entrance was closed and continuously firing was done for 10 to 15 minutes. Just imagine the situation. So this was a tragedy happened in the year 1919, April 13. So children, that is all for today. I hope it is clear. So today we learned Gandhiji, he fought for the injustice of Indians in Africa, and his fight was, yes, Satyagraha based on truth and non-violence. And when he came back to India in the year 1915, the condition in India was also the same. Here also he launched the fight for freedom against the injustice done to the farmers. By the time the British government, they passed Rowlatt Act. As per that, they could arrest any Indian activists, any Indian leaders, any Indian revolutionaries without any trial in the court. And as soon as this act was passed, Indians protested against this. So while their protest was going on, a meeting was going on in a park called Jallianwala Bagh. So where nearly 1,000 people were participating, and General Dyer, yes, he ordered his troop to fire into the unarmed crowd. Finally they were fired and they lost their lives. So this was the called Jallianwala Bagh Massacre. So that is all for today, children. So don't forget to read the text. Okay. So I hope it is clear. Thank you.